Sorry. All right, guys, these are your channeled messages for May 21st through May 21st through May 28th, 2026. But the messages are timeless. Whenever you find them, you're meant to find them. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Let's get it. So, first card out is free yourself. Allow yourself to imagine again. Be the real you. You are free. Get back to basics. Be a kid. Be weird. Be unique, fearless, creative, and imaginative. Believe in magic again. Second card out is use what you've learned to help others now. Lessons learned, time to put them to use. Help guide and lead others. This has been training for your destiny and wishes. Use your gifts and intuition and source to lead you to your success. And last card out is reflect, introspection, deep thoughts, and analyze. It feels like this is a period of time where you're really going through a metamorphosis. You're blossoming, you're tapping into new gifts. Uh, it's not just about tapping in though. I'm trying to get more this is fast energy. Like I'm trying to grasp it, but it's taking place very quickly. Right. So this is a week long reading, a week out reading for the next 7 days. Obviously time is an illusion here. The timeless, you know what I mean? But I'm pulling currently on the energy for the next 7 days. And so this is what I mean by it's quick. This is some sort of quick metamorphosis. I That's what I got. It's some sort of quick metamorphosis that's happening with you, and uh, uh, stripping away the last reminiscences of the grubby imprint that this world has put on you, right? So let me elaborate more on what I mean by that. Give context to what I mean by that, how I'm seeing it, how I'm feeling it to digest. It's like, we all go through the educational system. We come out as we truly are, what we truly are, with our innate gifts and abilities and powers and things of this nature intact within us. And they're just like readily accessible. They're there. And, we have access to our spirituality. We have access to source. We have access to our gifts and abilities. We have access to our manifestation powers. We have access to our creative abilities. We have access to all the things that we are born with, just out out the womb, right? Just readily packaged with, right? And but as we go along, as we develop as children, regardless whether you had a rough childhood or you had a great childhood, you still go through the societal programming, right? And as I see it, it's like you hop into this machine, right? You go in one way, very sparkly, very full of this, your life and your chakra system fully lit up and activated, and you're spewing with spiritual power and energy. And you go into the machine that be this societal programming, the societal machine, and it strips away what makes you you, bit by bit. This is your schooling. This is your family traditions, or the religious patriarchy that gets thrown onto you. You get told what you are, what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot be, what things that are just natural within you that are taboo, or that are sinful, or that are demonic, or that are of a negative, things that you were born with, whether it be your creativity, whether it be your spiritual gifts and abilities, whether it be whatever the case may be. Do you understand what I'm saying? Somebody throughout your life, multiple somebodies throughout your life, who were in authority figures, from teachers to family to parental units to guardians to whatever, they all had their grubby hands on you during formative years of your life, right? So while your prefrontal cortex is still developing from womb to your late 20s, you come across a lot of people who have molded you and plucked away your beautiful peacock feathers to fit into what is, or what was or was not acceptable at the time for the world that you came in on. You were made to fit a mold for a world that no longer exists, right? But everyone went through this, the machine of stripping your life essence, of stripping your soul essence, your spiritual power, your spiritual gifts, your creativity, your uniqueness, your sparkles and magic, right? Because for whatever reason it may be, insert the thing here for you: the religion, the patriarchy, the societal norms of acceptability, of, maybe it's that you had like a wealthy family and you're required to uphold a certain level of like status, and only these jobs, or only this lifestyle, or only this way of doing, thinking, acting, breathing, existing is acceptable for our family name and upholding the family name. Or maybe it's, again, it's something that, you grew up in, like a cult like religion type situation, and everything that was not according to whatever laws or written thing in their sacred text, in their agenda book, if it didn't fit within that, then it was taboo. It was of evil, right? Regardless whether it's just like you wanted to wear makeup or you wanted to be a painter, you wanted to paint pictures of the trees, or whatever the case may be. It's something like this, where these are the things where, from foundational moments of your life, people have chipped away and put their own thumbprints and impressions, molded you, if you will, to what they wanted you to be, or how the world wanted you to be. And so what's taking place right now is you're going through this process of having to break free of these aforementioned things, of these molded beliefs, the restrictions, the chains, the cuffs that have been placed on you, and you're coming into your own. It's like getting back to the basics, getting back to ground point zero of who you were before they laid their grubby hands on you, right? You're getting back to the basics. You're getting back to the basics. You're getting back to your uniqueness. You're finding out, holy shit, this is me. You're really starting to enjoy who you are, who you're becoming, and all the things that make you weird and funny and personable and unique and bubbly and all the things, right? And this process is bringing about a very significant transformation in your life, in your personality, in your outward appearance. So we would call this like in your ascending, your rising sign. It's like more of your rising sign is coming out, but it's authentic. It's the authentic version of you, right? And it's different. It's different. I think there's always been this part of you that has always been outside of the box, and for whatever reason, people have, not even for whatever reason, but people have always tried to kind of like put you into this box, like trying to like, oh, let me put you in, let me, hold on, let me try to get you over here in this one, or let me put, oh, let me create another box for the, it's you have always been outside of the lines. You've always been in your own flow. You've always been in your own flow of your rhythm. And then some, like I said, for a little while, for a while there, your rhythm got interrupted by someone else's signal, strategically, right? But now you're being able to really, I feel the waves of the energy here, and it's this, you're really getting back into this, the waves, your own flow of things. and it's happening, like I said, very fast. It's like a very fast transition that's taking place here. And with with the last pieces of the molding that was coming off, and the last bits of the shackles coming off, the last few chains coming off on, you feeling restricted within yourself. You're I heard you about to start wilding out. And it's not even that you, but it's that you're like, your inhibitions are gone. You're no longer, you don't care. You don't care what anybody else thinks about you being you, you being in your power, you being a boundary setter, you being one that ruffles people's feathers, that irritates people because you show up, with some loud energy. You show up, like the Kool-Aid man, just busting through the walls. And you're no longer trying to deflect the amount of power that you truly have. And that is something that this has taken a really, really long time for you to get to this point. And it's almost, I say that you were afraid of your own greatness. There's this like timidness where it's like you're afraid that if you unleash the beast too much, or if you unleash the beast to its fullest, that you'll go back to your old ways. And that's not it. You have so let's pause here, because another wave of energy is coming in that I need to talk about. But this that you're what happened in the past with you. First of all, everybody's 20s is wilding out time. Everybody's 20s. Your 20s are for you to do some dumb shit. Your 20s are for you to f up a lot. That's what your 20s are for. Your 20s are for you to go out there and have hot girl summer all summers long for that entire decade. Your 20s are for you to be out there being playboy, playgirl, whatever the case may be. Your 20s are for you to be lit. Your 20s are for you to be out there, hoeing it up, or um, partying it up, or just effing it up. The 20s is like demon time all the time for a lot of people. And hey, and if you were out there being a saint all throughout your 20s, good for you. Good for you. I hope at some point you do have this, what I'm talking about, where you just enjoyed life to the fullest, without the inhibitions of of anything. You know what I mean? But like, this is, we not talking to you. We're talking about this large collective of energy that I'm feeling here, where it's like there's timid fear. It's like fear around letting the beast out. You have you're reluctant to allow the beast out, uh, because of the beast was out in your 20s. The beast was out like in the forefront in the 20s, and it feels like you were in a lot of your shadow self. You were in a lot of your like darkness. We all have like yin and yang, right? The black with the white dot center in the middle, and the white with the black dot center in the middle. Like, that's necessary. Everybody needs to have that equal proportion to it. But often what we have is too much, or too much of one and too little of the other. Right. So for me personally, I've had recently, like, I would say from the end of my 20s to now, I've had way too much of the light. Way too much. way too much, you know, and it's like boundaries where. So currently the process that I'm in personal going through is of integrating more of the darkness, right? So it feels like this energy was demon time all the time. Demon time all the time. It was like very much in the darkness, but the difference in this time in your past, I'm saying in your decade of your 20s, it just feels like it was the decade of the 20s. Whatever decade this was for you, whatever. But it feels like decades of the 20s, and it feels like at that time you had done not a lick of healing. There was not a lick of healing going on, because again, it feels like you were young, and this you weren't in this realm, you weren't in this field, you weren't, you know what I mean. And it also feels like there was, I don't know, there was some sort of, you still had a lot of the grubby hand imprints and molding on you at this point in time. So it also feels like your shadow side was really pissed off with you, really pissed off as a result because you neglected it, you know. And it's like, but like this is like a different kind of neglect, you know what I mean. This is like where you were chastised or beaten for um having any kind of expression or individuality of the self, right? Like I said, it's given that like religious cult type vibe. So as a result, like you, once you got out on your own, it feels like you, it feels like you just wowed it out. It feels like you just wowed it out to the fullest extent. And again, at the time, there was not a lick of healing or inner work or inner child healing that had been going on, or anything to that nature. So literally, quite literally, you were a different person and a different state of being at the time, operating at a lower vibration and frequency, right? But you have done a tremendous amount of work from then to now. You're not the same person, and we're going to pay respects and homage to that version of self, because without that version of self continuing to fight through, regardless of the wild out that was taking place, that wild out got you a whole lot of lessons and a whole lot of wisdom, you know, and also helped you survive to get to where you're at right now. So please don't do the thing. We don't do any self-hatred or extra self-criticism over here over our past versions of self, or what we did in our past, who we were in the past, or the choices that we made in our past while we were hurting and we hadn't done a lick of inner work. Like, we understand the accountability of it, but it is what it is. You had to do what you did then to get to where you're at now, and there's no way around it. And I think a lot of people try to glaze over that, or like I said, like skip that part of the process, especially if their goal is to get to the highest rank of themselves, or be on the highest rank in their spiritual journey. You can't skip the messy, cringy, regretful parts of it. Like that's necessary. You don't get the canoe to cross the boat, to cross the ocean, without going through these things, you know what I mean. So, but it feels like this is where this energy of timidness, reluctancy, fear, hesitation is coming in around uh integrating bringing your shadow out, bringing your dark side out, because it's um you feel like you were wilding out. You feel like you know, you you don't want it to be a repeat. And it's not that. You have to understand that you're not the same person, and you've done both of yourselves have done a lot of work. You've done a lot of shadow work, you've done a lot of inner child work, you've done a lot of facing your darkness, you've done a lot of healing of addictions, of of codependencies, you've done a lot of all these things, right? You're not the same person. Um, and again, this isn't for everybody. This isn't for everybody. I'm gonna just say it like as it is right now. Don't try to glaze over your self work and think that you're at a position to where you are past these things if you know good and well that you've not done a lick of self work, shadow work, inner child healing, dealing with your addictions, whatever they may be, dealing with substance abuse, whatever that may be, dealing with, whatever narcissistic tendencies you may have, whatever toxic behaviors you may have. If you know you've not done a lick of work and you've not even gotten to the 50% of the work for it, you just don't try to be like, that's me, and gaslight yourself into this. You have got to have done the work. Like, the test for you should be, if you had an addiction to whatever thing, whatever the thing is, whether it be constantly watching like 97 different readings every day, constantly you're watching readings, that's an addiction. Whether it be that you have a sex addiction or a porn addiction, or you have a drug or drinking addiction, can you look at the thing, the topic, the subject of your addiction, and not feel tempted to use it, to do it, to participate in whatever the thing is? At that point in time where you're at right now, can you be around whatever the thing was at this point, and then you'd be like, I'm good? That's the test for you. That's a self-awareness test that we're gonna do that right now. Right now, right? Pause the video, go look at ask yourself this question right now. Can you do that? Can and be honest, because if not, then that means we still got some work to do. You're still on the journey, and that's fine. But don't make the shoe fit if it does not. But those of you who have reached this point at this point in time, don't feel like you need to be afraid of your power, or you need to be afraid of your darkness, because you cannot, take it from me, take it from me, you cannot just have like the overabundance of light. Even in the yin and the yang sign, it still has the dark within, right? You need to have that. You need to have that, and you need to allow it to come out like strategically throughout the day, right? So when you need to set firm boundaries, when you need to tell somebody, no, get the fuck up out of here, like you need to be able to do these things, say these things, set your boundaries, stand up for yourself, advocate for yourself, put people in their place, whatever the case may be. These are a lot of things that, like, your dark side handles, that you don't think about. There's a lot of people who have their darkness first, and it comes naturally for them. They this is the shit that comes easy, effortlessly. They don't think about it. It's just like breathing and walking for them. It's automatic, right? But for those of us who have the overage of the light, this is what we have to work at. We have to work at allowing our little bit of the dark to switch, to come out as needed when it needs to, and not try to like hold it back, right? So when we're talking about the chains here, it feels like you're still holding a little bit of the chain. You're out of fear, and it also feels like a little bit of this fear is centered around not wanting to hurt other people's feelings. But here's the thing: you're really hurting yourself. And how long have you put others' feelings before your own? And I'm not saying go out here and chop people down at the knees unnecessarily, but You're going to have to start going about your life, your energy, and the way that you participate in society differently, with allowing that bit of darkness to come out effortlessly. And that's going to require people not liking you. That's going to require people not liking what it is that you've said. That's going to require people being triggered by what you've said. That's going to require you sometimes hurting people's feelings just for protecting your energy or protecting your boundaries or protecting just you, protecting your, putting yourself first. Because this what you have been doing is, you're very, very good, and I've said this frequently, but you're very good at reading the emotions of other people and the energetic mental stability of other people, right? So what you're always constantly doing, gathering information, surveying the energy and the emotional and mental stability of others and those around you, wherever you're at, you're scanning, you're taking in an immense amount of data and information, spiritually and energetically. Always got the feelers out, always receiving information, always getting downloads, always getting the sonar data back to you, and you're constantly doing this all the time, wherever you're at, whatever environments you're around, wherever, whenever you're talking to people, wherever you go, right? And that's a beautiful thing strategically, right? To know, like, if you're in immediate danger, if somebody is dangerous, if they got malicious intentions, whatever the case may be, that's great. It's a really great superpower. But what's happening and what you do subconsciously and consciously is, when you get that data back and someone around you is on like mental or emotional breakdown or crisis mode, you go into pacify mode. You go into like, because you because you already can see that like people are down bad, or a person is already like slightly mentally unstable or slightly like emotionally unstable, or they're currently, already going through something. Because you have the ability to see into their soul, to see in their chakras, to see into what's going on in their energy or emotionally. A lot of you can just feel the emotions of other people. Like, that's your thing. You're able to like very quickly pick up on other people's emotions. But some of you, your thing is just, it's just energy. Or some of it, it's that you can just see where people have wounds at, if they've just got like an open wound, or whatever your thing is. Some of you, it's all the above, but it's regardless what this is, it's given projector energy. All right, like human design, this is like human design projectors. We do this very well. But like, especially if you're a projector, you're whatever, it doesn't matter what your sign is, but please be aware of the fact that this is a gift that you have, like, always on, always happening, which is why I'm gonna bring it back to the projectors thing. Projectors don't really have that much like physical energy, and what physical energy you have to maintain it properly, right? You have to know where your energy is being consumed and how to best use and tweak the energy that you have. So knowing that this is a thing that you're capable of and always doing, don't add fuel to the fire by having to spend extra energy managing someone else's emotions or mental stability, right? Like it's like you're having to hold the frequency, hold the shaky foundation up for other people when you're around them and their emotional the situation is unstable, or their mental situation is unstable, or they're wounded, or they're hurting, or whatever the case may be. When you're around these people, you automatically are holding the foundation up so that it's not harmful for you. I hope this makes sense. I'm trying to explain it the best way that I can, but it's almost like, is the house's foundation is like shaky and crumbling apart. It needs new floor joists and it needs new load bearing beams, right? And you come through with the load bearing beams and like hoist it up because you're like, oh shit, hold on, I'm still in the hold on now. I'm still in the house. Don't don't go out now. Like, yeah, we still in here, and it's like that's what you're doing is like you're coming in, putting the load bearing. You provide the load bearing support beams for shaky foundations, in the form of souls, right? So this is this is something that you got going on, and you're gonna have to. It feels like you're having to stop holding the foundations for everybody. You know what I mean? And it feels like this is what you're working out now, right? You're trying to figure out how you can like nicely tell people they're gonna have to get it together on their own. They're gonna have to hold their own weight on their own, because you can't. It's not sustainable to be doing 24/7, 365. But this is like what you've been doing, and like no wonder why you run ragged. But it feels like you're afraid. You're afraid of what how you're going to how your dark side will handle these situations, because simply because you don't want to hurt people's feelings, especially when you already know and have this ability immediately to know that like they're already hurting, or they're already unstable, or they're already emotionally suffering, and you very big on do no harm but take no shit, right? So you're having to integrate more take no shit, but you're also not trying to purposely do harm, right? So there's a way to go about doing the things, but you're gonna have to. You're At the end of the day, you're gonna have to just get to the point to where you're okay with some people being upset, because you cannot, and will this is not sustainable. You can't keep doing this. Period. 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 You can't keep doing this. So you're gonna have to just be okay with people being like, "Oh, that bitch," or being like, "I don't like them," or whatever the case, or being upset, or with because are they gonna pay your medical bills? Are they? It just it's not right. It's not right for you to go around like damn Bob the Builder, fixing people's cracks in their foundation, just so that you can then that this ain't it. This ain't it. So it just feels like you have this fear and timidness around allowing your darkness to come out as needed, to put people in their place, to set boundaries, and to stop the energy leaks in whatever form they may be, right? And it also feels like they're gonna like advocate for your money. You know what I mean? Like to tell people like, oh, I see, you're looking for advice, so here's my booking link. You know what I mean? Like because if it's not going to contribute to your health, your wealth, or your happiness, It's a no. Me and Val talked about that not too long ago. Literally though, like this is because you can't keep doing this shit. That's this that's it. That's what I feel. Let yourself go through this metamorphosis and this integration process, and allow the real you to come out. Don't force it, and don't feel like that you have to, act or perform a certain way for anyone or anybody. And yeah. Anyways, sorry, we were on that for a really long. This is a long ass. You're welcome. This a long ass. Thanks for the donations, by the way. Help your girl out. It's been this about to be an hour long video. Bless your girl. Moving on to the second card. All of what you have mentioned and learned throughout the your 20s while you were in your demon mode, when you were in demon time all the time. Not just during that point in time, though. I want to be clear, not just during that time, but over the last 5 years in particular, you've been really doing some sleuth level, like I had like triple missions almost this lifetime. You've been really diligent about your growth, your soul's core lessons, your exit lessons, and things you're required to do before you can get the F up out of here. Right. And with that being said, you have reached a pinnacle in soul growth that a lot of people don't reach, don't access, don't get to. You like Yoda with the wisdom. You know what I mean? Like, but you young, but you young, and it also feels like there is a little bit of resistance to this. There is a little bit of resistance to the fact that you young, you like Baby Yoda. You look really young. You are young, and you also look young, and it seems like this there's like adversity, or like there's like been a deterrent for people to want to like take you seriously up until this point. This is like something is changing about the way that people view you. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's like Spirit is doing like a press conference about you currently as we speak. And it's like, and by the way, y'all need to put some respect on these people's name, and also they hold this position, and also y'all need to pay them, and also y'all need to, like, something is changing, right? About the way that people externally treat you, see you, perceive you, react to you, interact with you in the world. Right. And so there are still going to be those people who were like, I don't know about it because young, right? Whereas like I say this all the time, like reverse ageism. But this is like this is like yeah, like reverse ageism, where people are now